Okay, so welcome to Prep School. So you've heard me in my recipes refer to a cumin and coriander mixture. There's no magic in that mixture. What I have here are cumin seeds and coriander seeds. So essentially the way I make it is I take 1 part of cumin seeds. So I'm going to use a cup measure here, but you use whatever measure. If you're not going to cook a lot of Indian food, then use a smaller measure. So that's one cup of cumin. Let's put that aside. And to 3 cups of coriander. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now this morning I've already baked biscuits, so I have a warm oven. And what I'm going to do is just pop this into that warm oven, which is off, for about 5 minutes, and just so that the aromas can start coming out of here, and we get sort of toasted seeds. And what we're going to do with these toasted seeds then is just grind them, and that's as simple as that is. But I'll show you how to grind them in a spice grinder. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and so the aroma coming from these spices is really, really incredible. And so the tray is still quite hot. And you may have seen me pick out a clove previously. What I use cloves for is preserving all of my lentils, rices, whatever. I always put a bunch of cloves in everything. It stops the bugs getting to them, especially if you're not using your spices. So what I'm going to do, so that it's easier for me to grind it, I'm going to just transfer it into a sort of a deeper bowl. And then I have a spice grinder. This is specifically for sort of spices and nuts. Now, if you have a coffee grinder, don't use that. Invest in another spice grinder. It's not super expensive, so it's worth it just to keep the flavors different. So let me just, hopefully I don't muck this up, but let me see if I can't transfer this into this. I'm going to have a bit of casualty, but let's just do it this way. Okay. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I'm not going to hold this tray just yet because it is quite hot. Let's see if we can't do it this way. Slide them all down and pop them in there. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, so let's grab the coffee cup, and there's a good mixture here. So I try and keep this unplugged as much as I can because I'm always worried about fingers getting stuck in here. So I'm going to fill it first with these spices, and fill it sort of to about that level, then plug it in. And I count to about 30, so that's my 30, and that's, you know, generally the consistency that you would want to see. So it's sort of not super thin. Before I stick my fingers in there, let me unplug that. And here's what that looks like. Now there's parts of it that look quite big, but I'm not going to fuss around with that. What I'll just do is make the next batch a little smaller, so it'll all even out in the end. So I'm going to carry on with this until I've finished the rest of this mixture. Okay, and we're back. So we've got this nice sort of ground mixture. It's a little warm right now because I did sort of do it while it was just fresh out of the oven. But what we're going to do is just let that cool a little bit. And so what I like to do with all of my spices is really first in, first out. So I have my spice double here, but there's still a bit of cumin and coriander in there. So I'm going to empty that out in a bowl. I'm then going to refill the bowl with what's already in this jar. Oops. Making sure there's enough room for the leftover here to go in. So that's good to put away now. And put that aside. And then what I'm going to do with this is put that right on top so it gets used up first. And then really just, you know, maybe grab a smaller measuring cup and add that in here. And all I'm going to do is add this in here and then throw the older one right on top so I get to use that first. Make sure you clean up, make sure you wipe down your spice mixer or grinder. You know, even if this is the only thing you do in it, just make sure it's clean. You never know when you want to use it for some other spice, and that way it's ready to go. So this is the cumin coriander mixture, which is very essential to certainly my way of Indian cooking.